Welcome back to the Nutrimedical Report. Lots of new things developing. We have, of course, launched in the last week or so our new Facebook and Twitter pages. We also have some new pages that are being popped up, including if you go to our live stream channel, you'll see we're going to be posting up a live stream video blogs on every one of the products and also all of our wellness products, a daily news blog which will summarize what's happened during the show of the day. That'll be posted up right after the show. And we'll be expanding our news blog team, so you'll actually be able to log on, and it's all free. If you're a member, which means you bought a product in the last 6 months, you can access the live stream programs, video, etc. And we're also going to start expanding over information at the Clay and Iron website. So you're going to see a lot of new things showing up, and it doesn't cost you a cent except be a listener, be a user of the Nutrimedical product lines, and we're also expanding the number of test labs because we want to make you your own healthcare professional. I constantly get calls and questions about people wanting to find out if they can find a local doctor in their area. I do recommend that they check with our academies, the Academy of Environmental Medicine, Anti-Aging, and Environmental Medicine, but a lot of the country doesn't have a doctor, or your country of origin may not have one. You need to be your healthcare professional, even if you do see one of these docs, because many of them are at what I call the beginner level, and they need help. I'm a senior consultant like myself in order to be able to tell them what kinds of tests to do, both conventional and advanced functional medicine tests. Many of them now are becoming available for you to do, not just here in North America, but overseas. For example, although 23andMe was shut down here, there's an expanding lab in Australia. There's labs in Germany and elsewhere that can do genetic tests on you, even cancer cell marker tests, etc. So you can test for a cancer cell marker, for example, an anti-malignant test that will tell you have any malignancy somewhere, won't tell you where it is. We have advanced technology, though, like the bioplasm NLS, that can identify if you have a particular tumor and even which tissue, and even anatomically the location. That's how amazing it is. It's actually been head-to-head compared to ultrasound and MRI or CT scan, and it is more accurate, believe it or not. And we have, of course, the bioplasm NLS. With the medical and wellness history, I followed up with recommendations for functional medicine tests, and I start off with labs like Dunwoody Lab. My favorite is Lab Testing Direct, that has a collection of a number of labs. You save on average around 68 to 72% on tests. That's labtestingdirect.com. And I can recommend the test. You can walk into a LabCorp or Quest facility, pay the lab fee, and fire it off, and it will. You do not need a health physician. You can do it yourself. And that's what's really important, and you need to know what to monitor. You need to know why those things are being monitored. I will provide that service, that consultative service and teaching service, free for us, our customers. No one else does this. I also do consultations to health providers anywhere in the world to teach them what I know, and I'll be putting together a series of books on this that will go considerably further than the beginner courses at our academies of environmental medicine, anti-aging, and medicine, etc. It's what I call living pathology or functional medicine, where you combine genetics, epigenetics, toxicology, functional medicine in terms of biochemistry and intermediate metabolism, stealth pathogens, and scalar physics. And then it explains a whole lot of things as to why technologies like our mild hyperbaric oxygen. My routine, if you want to know what it is every day, the first thing I get is my special drink. Starts off with glycemics, life support, Ageless Energize, Omega Cod Liver Liquid, Nutridyne, NutriComplete, D-Ribose, and ALC 1000, mixed with Khalifa, which is the non-sugar toasted almond and coconut milk, half volume by that, and Pure Water System water with ice. That's my drink. That's my breakfast. I'll often have some sprouted grain bread. That's the time when I have my carbohydrates in the morning. And a low glycemic index diet. And then, of course, I will get exercise anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes on my triplanar trimotion device. May also add 20 minutes to half hour of treadmill. Afternoon, I get a couple hours of pool. I tell people, if I can, which I did today again, and this is my general routine, is to get 45 minutes to an hour in my mild hyperbaric chamber, with augmentation with 6 to 10 liters of oxygen in the chamber. So it increases the oxygen to about 25 to 28%. It makes it's anti-inflammatory, it's a detox, it's a recovery from lactic acids from the exercise. It's amazing. And of course I have Lumen Photon, Somal Pulse, and now we have a new device that I'm doing research with the engineers that developed in China, a Energizer magnetic field device that we'll be posting up shortly. I'll be talking to their engineers, and I'm working on trying to upgrade some of the technology for the QRMA from the engineers from China that are working in MIT, Dr. Ye Zheng, and the Russian engineers from the cosmological agencies in Russia dealing with the bioplasm NLS, which was developed by the Russian Space Agency. So always things going on in the background, new product design coming, working on the I formula. That's going to be a new breakthrough formula which will be more powerful than anything else in the world, anywhere, in any country, which is why when you see formulas pop up, they take years of research and development, acquisition of specific source of materials, manufacturing, quality assurance, so it passes all the tests here in America, including pathogen-free, non-toxicological, make sure that the sources of materials are completely free of solvents, heavy metals, etc. It has a very high level, which is why even we send orders to China now, because they know our level of care is the highest in the world in America. That's why even laboratories and facilities in New Zealand and Australia accept our materials. I want to touch on some of the latest reports on Ebola. Tecmira's experimental Ebola drug pushes stocks up. So the company in Burnaby, BC, Tecmira Pharmaceuticals, soared the second day on Monday after U.S. regulators fast-tracked one of its company's experimental drugs. So they have a drug now they're going to fast-track. They also tested the Ebola test drug on a Spanish patient, highlights ethical concerns, and we'll get into that as well in this hour. They had a Spanish missionary priest infected with a killer virus. So the outbreak is by no means slowing down. And it's not like previous outbreaks since the 1970s. This is a much longer incubation virus. It sheds probably considerably more virus later in the disease before a person gets significantly ill. So there's a much higher chance that they can transmit the virus through the air, through droplet spray, especially when a person is shedding a lot of virus in sweat, in cough, in bodily fluids such as in food, touched by hand, stool and urine. So there's a very much higher risk, certainly not anywhere near the risk of flu, but with the very fragile virus, it doesn't last long, more than probably minutes to hours on any solid surface. The bodily fluids can make it last longer as long as they're not dehydrated, and there's a high enough viral load and a quick enough transfer to the next person if you're in an airport or congested area. New report on concussions, serious regarded locations of the hit on their head. And this is, of course, coming up with the NFL because there's some major suits over the concussion injuries. I strongly recommend anybody that has concussion should get the gene polymorphism tests, which I can actually tell you what gene polymorphisms are linked to higher risk of autism or post-traumatic, what's called microglial activation syndrome, which is what happens causing a concussion, cause toxicity and free radical upregulation. A peroxynitrate nitroperoxy radical, you can actually test the urine for these end-stage metabolites and see in someone who has had a concussion, if they go up, they're likely to have a post-concussion microglial activation, which can go on for years. Also, long-term repeat serial MRI scans can show changes in ventricles, myelinated pathways, etc., and in a quantitative electroencephalogram. Positron emission tomography and SPECT scans can show changes. So if someone wants to know the medical, legal, and other issues, I can give you all the specifics on how to do the gene test, the organic acids, and the specific imaging in order to prove it, and also the specific protocols that can prevent injury for concussions, whether it's high school, contact sports, university, or professional. So I have a great deal of expertise in this area, and I can give you all the specific tests. I've done medical legal work in which, of course, aggravated the heck out of the Colorado government, the military, and the federal government when I drive in court and deal with this, and have neuropsychologists, psychologists, neuroscientists, imaging specialists, and walk in with the specific advanced reports that would blow them away out of the water, as well the other attorneys who were playing Mickey Mouse type of medical law had no way to respond. So if you want the big guns, including what I'm putting together in terms of gene profile tests and organic acids for people exposed to electropollution, I'm putting those panels together as well so people can actually measure changes in electrical activity. The first way to detect it is on the QRMA test, quantitative resonant magnetic, and there's organic acids and gene SNPs that predispose to electrosensitivity. It's a form of electrical trauma, if you want to call it, or stressor. And there's specific organic acids that will show up in your urine when you have this form of electrical injury. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the Nutrimedical Report, and you can call in with any question. Remember, this is your program, 800-259-5791, and if you feel an answer is too technical, we can tone it down to give it non-technical. But I can tell you that this is the source. If you want to find out information, whether it's issues of geopolitical, above government technology, you want to know medical, natural, nutraceutical, any topic in any area, I'm more than willing to try to tackle. And if we don't have the answers, we're going to at least try to develop the best questions so that you and I and others that are listening can research. We got lots of people that send me all kinds of emails, so we have a ton of good sources, both inside and outside the government, and lots of good people, including of all classes, including billionaires are out there that are decent people, that are concerned, people in our government and military that do not like what's going on, not only in America, but around the world. The latest news worldwide, we have Iraqi President asked Abadi to succeed the Prime Minister Nouri Maliki. So Iraqi's president has asked, and of course this is the president that has been put forward by the ISIS government, this new coup government, just like we put a coup government in western Ukraine. Again, this is more meddling by the West, creating another situation where Nouri Maliki, who is the man that we put into power, heading all the Shiites, and people have to understand that the Shiite part of Iraq is the greater part, probably 80% of the population are Shiite. They also occupy the territory of the country that is in the north and the east, which is most of the oil-rich areas. And their direct alliances now are with Russia and with Iran and Syria. So this is amplifying things in the wrong way. And of course, even Hillary Clinton is saying that the foreign policies that Obama's put in place are actually catastrophic. Russia is to join the relief effort as Ukraine presses fight. And of course, not only Ukraine has agreed to dispatch humanitarian aid, including supplies from Russia, to separatist stronghold that has been fighting in the recent week. It's not separatist. We have a coup government without a proper election from these other areas, and they don't feel represented. So we have the West trying to take over the country. We have a number of areas that are primarily Russian territory and have been for centuries, with the majority of the population being Russian. So this is very ridiculous. The whole thing is very ridiculous. But when we see that the vice president's son is involved in oil and gas exploration, it's not surprising. It always comes down to what I call the oligarchy and the dollar, which is why all the wars ultimately are banker wars. So Erdogan, which is the Prime President, hopeful and Prime Minister Tayyip Erdogan, is set to become Turkey's first elected president. Mr. Erdogan, head of Turkey's ruling Justice and Development Party, the AKP, led Sunday's presidential polls 51.8%. So Mr. Erdogan has been making a turn against the West and against Israel in the treatment of the people of the Palestine and of Gaza Strip. And I guess he's buoyed up in the polls because there's enough people that are very ticked off by the actions of Israel and the West. That's why, of course, Turkey's not using its primary army. It's probably got the fourth largest standing army with some of the best equipment in the world. They even have licenses for Abrams tanks, and they have probably the best armored personnel carrier manufactured in the world, even better than the ones that are made here in America. According to reports I've heard from Europe, they supply most of the NATO allies. So Turkey has not put its primary army in place. NATO chief says he will decide on the Afghan pullout soon. Of course, pullout means that they're going to leave it up to the Afghan military. The American military have allowed the warlords to continue the drug trade. This is destroying both Russian citizens and Americans in the West with the heroin that's coming in from this area of the world, and supplying money to terrorists, which of course the warlords and so-called Al-Qaeda, which was the Mujahideen that we set up, was the CIA. In fact, the head of the Mujahideen was the engineer, otherwise known as Tim Osman being Osama bin Laden, who died in renal failure years before they said they caught and killed him. And Obama made this kind of made-for-TV movie that he was such a rah hero. Well, he's sitting behind in the Situation Room pretending that he caught him, which is another bold-faced lie by the liar-in-chief. Maybe we should call him the Lying King. How's that? I think we've used that one before, but Lying King is a good one. We also have, of course, the Gaza Strip. The Ukraine situation is they're getting Russians are doing a massive military operations on the border. Ukraine says he'll consider a mission as Obama and Merkel warn of what's going on. Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko, who's also a criminal. He's also an oligarch and a dual Israeli citizen, so we have to understand exactly what's really going on here. Ukraine rocket attacks lead to a mass jail breakout. So in the last week, Ukrainian government forces have intensified their military operations in surrounding Donetsk. I think the Russians are likely to move in there very, very soon, and which means that the city of Kiev is going to get crushed by Russia. And I think that nothing that the West can do to stop Russia when they finally do move, and it's going to teach the West a really good lesson, which is don't mess with Russia, treat them with respect, try to be honorable when you make deals with them, and don't try to expand NATO into territory that's directly Russian. I think it's very insane for us to think we can get away with this kind of activity, and we'll find out the hard way, unfortunately. In terms of healthcare news, we have Ebola victims returning to the United States. A lot of people are very concerned about that. The main concern is they're coming through commercial airliners or other routes. They could be shedding virus for days before, and although the virus doesn't last long, if there's droplet spray in aircraft, which there's no air filters, there is a risk of getting exposed. So that's what's happening. They have new, of course, forms of insulin. They have an inhaled form. People don't understand that the injectable genetically engineered form is so identical to the humans, actually grown in bacteria, that it recruits antibodies against the pancreas and can actually cause a type 1, type 2 diabetes where the pancreas is also attacked. We see the West Nile virus, of course, 2 dead as West Nile virus creeps across California. Dallas County confirms the 3rd case of West Nile virus, and this is the Dallas-Fort Worth area as well. So West Nile virus is spreading. It's in Colorado. There's some super mosquitoes in Colorado that carry it. West Nile virus, they call it the fatigue disease. It's now returned to the Los Angeles County area, so L.A. County does have West Nile virus, so I would assume it's anywhere you want to consider in California. In terms of news on ticks, can make you allergic to red meat. Isn't that interesting? Bad bite. They talk about a photo by Louise Danzig of Montauk, New York, stands in a field in East Hampton, New York, as the home of the deer that carry ticks that cause people to develop allergic reactions to red meat. Danzig landed in the hospital last summer after a tick caused it. So red meat allergies in the southeast United States may well be triggered off by ticks. They're also doing experiments to see if humans that have Lyme disease can infect ticks and actually carry it, which I believe they can because it's a bloodborne disease. I've had a number of people concerned whether or not Ebola could be spread by biting insects. Yes, if they take a partial blood meal like a mosquito or a tick, and then they can get on you, of course they can. It depends on whether or not you have an inoculum, and that would require a mass study looking at sera levels and infectivity levels. There probably would have to be a fairly large amount of virus to produce an infective state in order to cause, we call it, an inoculum. So we don't know, but if you have a partial blood meal, of course you can transfer infections by insects. And more of us are infected with low levels of stealth pathogens that we want to believe. Some of us by vaccines, which carry viruses, and some of these new vaccines like this one for Ebola is one of these gene transfer vaccines like Gardasil that uses an adenovirus, transfers 2 genes into you to generate the protein to attack the Ebola, your immune system. So protocols. McDonald's, of course, is made in alliance with Yum, which is the largest food supplier in China. They had a recent scare where Yum brands, that's YUM.N, have published data suppliers on their Chinese websites following a request by Shanghai authorities for the latest food safety scare. And, of course, salmonella trial shows up how the U.S. food safety relies on an honor system that can still be dangerous. It's my estimation, and this is based on experience as a physician, that the average American is exposed to either toxins or food contamination to some extent. It may not be a life-threatening, but to food extent, whether it's viral or bacterial, probably about 6 times a year. Whether it's canned food that's late, restaurants that don't have proper washing requirements, salmonella in chicken, which is very common. Also heavy metals, such as if you get non-organic chicken, you're going to get arsenic in your food. In fact, when I'm doing QRMA tests, or followed up by using packed red cell tests at Genova Metametrics Lab to look for heavy metals and regular minerals in their cells, we find regularly the most common toxins are lead, number 1, and arsenic, number 2. And even if you have mercury amalgams, usually if they're after 20 years, the mercury's long gone. We do want to remove the amalgams, but you want to replace those with porcelain, because if you replace them with gold, you can't see if there's periodontal or peridental infections, number 1. And number 2, you don't want to put a gold in there right beside residual amounts of mercury, because you will mobilize it. You want to also use a biological dentist to have high flow suction, and you want to make sure that they have a rubber dam to make sure there's no particles that get swallowed and go down to your airways and get remobilized. So lots of things going on in the news. What people should understand is that the news needs to be filtered, and that's why if you want to ask questions on specific topics, do call in the show. It's open every day. We're also opening up forums on live stream, and as a live stream forum, as well as Twitter and Facebook. We have other forums we're going to be opening up for people, and we've had requests by people to have a forum so people can kind of meet up and find out people in their area of the country or world that are Nutrimedical people, if you want to call it members. They're utilize Nutrimedical protocols. They're doing testing. They've got QRMA machines as we expand the kinds of technology. And also, we'll probably have networks of providers that utilize Nutrimedical type protocols and utilize our products to try to help their customers and or quote patients, or if you call fitness trainers, professional trainers, grandmothers that just want to be the grandmother for the whole family. We train everybody. We don't think that you need certification. You need to have illumination, which means ask the right questions, get informed, find out ways to get evidence-based testing to find out if you're on track, and make sure that if you're a proper consumer healthcare, you're telling your doctor what kind of tests are conventional that need to be done. The unconventional tests, for example, when I recently hear that people have diverticulosis, I ask what percentage of conventional gastroenterologists, family doctors, or internists do a comprehensive stool analysis, not only for pathogenic bacteria, fungi, and yeast, but also do they do any tests for proper digestion, etc., and it's virtually zero. So we recommend the CDSA test through Great Smokies Genova Labs. I tell people our living probiotic is stellar. It's the form of probiotic from the Results 6 lab in Pasteur lab in Paris, France. We have also the most powerful probiotic on the planet, the How Are You strain. When you're trying to repair your gut, you have to get rid of the pathogens, and you want to go through the biofilm. So we have Allicin Med, Alamax Alamed, the most powerful antipathogenic of all, which will kill Ebola and any other virus or bacteria, fungi, and parasite, because it's an antipathogenic, is Nutriodine. Our Silver 100 is completely thousands to hundreds of times more powerful than any form of nanoparticle or colloidal silver. Please do not make your own, and don't think any other product is even in the same ballpark. The same goes with our Nutriodine, which is a plasma-activated diatomic iodine. There is no other product, no matter what experts, including Dr. Bronstein or anyone else who pretends to be an expert on this area. I've been doing research on thyroid and mitochondrial function for more than a third of a century, so I can tell you that they don't know what they're talking about when it gets into the really high-tech specifics of things like reverse thyroid hormone, mitochondrial function, oxidative metabolism, etc., and organic acids, which you can test to see if you're on the right track. So let's get into some of the nutraceuticals. One of the things that I've done, and I've just started a test, is I'm going to be putting up protocols embedded now in each one of the nutraceuticals. So we had some requests because we didn't have a full information sheet on adrenal support gland. I posted that information sheet, also embedded pictures, diagrams, so you're educated about what your adrenal glands do, what kind of support you need. And I've also put in a video blog. This one that I posted on the weekend was about 4+ minutes. You'll see that now in all the products we'll be starting to have video blogs timestamped for the date when that blog has been updated. We're also going to do that in our wellness conditions. You'll see a news blog each day that will be posted up as well. And for all our members, you can have full access to it. For anybody even just going to the site, if you hit the product list, you'll actually see that video there and you'll have access. So that's another service we're trying to provide for you. You'll see also blogs over at clayandiron.com that'll cover a lot of other materials that are going to be very helpful for people that want to know about the spiritual issues, military, geopolitical, above government technology, financial, preparedness issues, etc. And I'll be posting those up with a lot of new information that'll be available. Plus, we're going to be able to do multi-point conferences, live conferences, where we actually will just post a date and time, and we'll do a live conference, a multi-point conference, where we will have guests from around the world, and all you have to do is log in. We'll have it also archived, so you can just log in and listen to it, watch it. You can watch it on your iPhone, your iPad, your computer, your television, through Apple TV or Roku, and all of this is free. I pay for all of it. That's why you want to know that the services provided here, you have no membership fee other than purchasing the products here at Nutrimedical. And that's pretty amazing. We're trying to make sure there's no barriers and there's no pretensions. We want people to know that we have the best. Let's talk about ageless chocolate, ageless vanilla. We call it ageless because you're going to age less. And to explain it, we have the sulforaphane glycosylate, which is going to supply your body with nutraceuticals to actually repair your DNA. We have also the immunoglobulins, and the new ageless formulas, by the way, are now colostrum-derived, so it has new components that are more powerful than the old serum-derived, though it was excellent because it had immunoglobulins that boost your immune system. People with recurring infections, if you do it with a thing called the immunoglobulin electrophoresis, you often find that they have in their gut proteins, immunoglobulin A, they have specific deficiencies, usually in IgA, specific subclasses, and in IgG. When you use the ageless, you repair not only the respiratory and gut protection, where 2/3 of your immune system plus is, you also will see that they have the Vacapro rice pea protein, digestive enzymes, probiotics, and many other components to help repair your gut wall, reduce inflammation, and repair DNA. So that's why we call it ageless. We also have, of course, the specials always on of the ageless in 3-packs. ALC 1000, this is the acetylcarnitine, and I mix it up when I make my super drink in the morning along with D-ribose. We know that the studies on anti-aging, ALC 1000 can take younger mammals of all types and actually activate not only their cellular mechanisms throughout their body, including their heart and brain, but actually is one of the most powerful instantaneous age-reversing mitochondrial re-energizer formulas. So that and D-ribose, which increases ATP. We have, of course, Aller Block, which is the best non-sedating antihistamine to block the release of histamines and allergies, both gut allergy, food allergy, and allergic response to stealth pathogens that can cause inflammation of joints. We have Allergon, which is the only sourced diamine oxidase at the right size of nanoparticles to block histamine and also get rid of interleukin-1 beta cytokines in the tissue. So we use it for allergic disease, autoimmune disease, and chronic fatigue syndrome, where there often are cytokine abnormalities present in the blood that you can identify with immunological testing. We have Allison Med, which is a formulation I upgraded a little over a year ago, which is the similar to the Ali Med, only you get about 200 milligrams more at a much better price. Alimax and Alimed have been around for about 25 years. They are prescriptions in Australia, New Zealand, Great Britain, Europe, and they are very powerful. They go through the biofilm as all our antipathogenics, nutriodine. And, of course, let's touch on allithiamine when we get back in just a moment, which is the fat-soluble thiamine. Research going way back to the Second World War, developed by the Japanese to overcome sudden infant death syndrome, alcoholic, and Wernicke encephalopathy from alcoholism, toxic detoxification from toxic chemicals, reversal of diabetic and other peripheral neuropathy, and much more. We'll be back in just a moment. Your questions, 800-259-5791. And you can call any hour of the program except the first hour on Fridays when we answer your questions by email that are put through Nutrimedical.com to contact us, or you'll leave a question on our orders line, 888-212-8871. And, of course, we're always working on trying to expand our protocols and respond to your requests and needs, and so we can expand the wellness issue so it makes it more understandable, not only for the regular person who wants to get in the entry level, and just explain it. I've refined it a bit so that it's core, which means the core things you need for your particular protocol, level 2, level 3, and 4, which you use sequentially depending on your response to the core protocol. Best way to identify is to send me a wellness and medical history along with any tests you have, any wellness things, any drugs you're taking, any past medical history, toxic exposure, etc. And I'm putting together a summary history form that'll make it easier to not miss anything, which you can also send. That'll allow me to have a little more information. The best functional test is the QRMA, and for you and your immediate family, you get free consultations to analyze the QRMA data to suggest which functional medical nutraceuticals and or testing may be helpful to identify it. You can do functional medical testing yourself through labtestingdirect.com. There are other labs that are also available here and overseas that you can do directly. You don't have to go through a health provider. Let's continue. So L-thiamine is a very important nutraceutical. It helps to protect the brain and peripheral nerves from damage. It protects the liver because of thiamine destruction. If someone is drinking or if they have a yeast infection, they have thiaminase in their gut. So if you often do tests such as the organic acid called the Organics test at Genova Lab Metametrics through labtestingdirect.com. You can see if you have normal gut bacteria from the organic acids, and the elevation of things like indicates fungal infections. You can see organic acids for fatty acid metabolism, glucose metabolism, and many other areas of the brain and body. Then we look at nutraceuticals like Anti-Age Max, and the reason why it's called the Anti-Age Max is because the most important thing for aging is, number one, the length of your telomeres, and this is the most powerful telomere formula, Anti-Age Max, the dimethyl resveratrol. It also prevents cholesterol and fatty acid oxidation, which is oxidized cholesterol and fatty acids are what gets into your artery walls. It doesn't matter what your cholesterol is. It matters how much your oxidized cholesterol. So none of your doctors are measuring the oxidized cholesterol level by high-pressure chromatography. They're doing indirect measures through nuclear magnetic spectroscopy, NMR spectroscopy, to identify what they consider the different fractions of your fatty acids. Small particle HDL is very bad. Large particle HDL is very good. You can increase that with our Neovasc, which is a long-acting niacinamide. Our rate is half the flush rate of the doctor-prescribed niacinamide, but we have some tricks up our sleeve, which includes Power C Plus, Allergon, and Allerblock that'll stop all flushing. Then we have berberstatin. And if you take berberstatin along with Nutritrel, long-acting alpha-lipoic acid, berberstatin has a multiple, if you want to call it amazing, things that it does. Number first is it increases the production of proterolin, which is the anti-aging hormone released from the upper small bowel or jejunum and the delta cells of the pancreas that regulate cellular regeneration throughout the body. It also regulates peripheral conversion of T4 to C3 in all your tissues, including brown fat in your muscles. It's extremely important for getting rid of stealth pathogens and fungi in your gut as well. So berberstatin. Then we have Pteridin 4, that's a rename of our BH4 biopterin. Pteridin 4, we have a new supplier now. We only ship it during the summertime with 2 8-day airship with ice packs. So, and there's no returns on it because, of course, it has to be air-shipped in ice packs. Pteridin 4 is very good. I also recommend with the BH4 biopterin for neurotransmitter levels taking Minerals Plus, which has specific minerals for brain support, and SAM-ethyl, S-SAM-ethyl, and BioLVR, B-I-O-L-V-R, superfolate, and power-methyl B12. Those are very good for neurotransmitter conversion. The BioLVR supports methylation pathways to lower uric acid, to deal with ammonia toxicity with elevated blood urea nitrogen levels, and for heavy metal detoxification. And we also add to that SAM-ethyl, which is the lemon-flavored nitrogen sachet crystals of SS isomer 77%. Trimethylglycine is also included, as well as the S-adenosylmethionine and SS isomer. This is the most powerful in the world. There's no comparison to any other product in any other company. We have the Biotin Plus, which is the energy for mitochondria for boosting insulin sensitivity. Works perfectly with our diabetoline. It has sinulin, the cinnamon extract for hormone support, for insulin support, lowering insulin requirements. It works with leptin metabolic. Usually recommend 1 to 2 capsules leptin metabolic and LipoFlush, 2 soft gels twice a day to reduce insulin resistance in diabetics. And of course, vitamin VX, I call it vibrational exercise, which is the Vibacor 3000, 5000, VibraSlim. I like the higher energy machines. I have a device that is a higher energy, triplanar trimotion device, and I get 30 to 60 minutes a day. The average person should get at least 10. It's going to have the equivalent of an hour of aerobic exercise for 40 hours, increased metabolism rate for just 10 minutes. So it makes a remarkable difference. We have Cognition Plus, which is the brain power support for protecting your brain. And if you want to actually have lucid dreams, take one before you go to sleep. Brain power, of course, has vinpocetine. We use it for protecting the brain. If you want to do brain protection as you get older or exposed to cell phones, Wi-Fi networks, or electropollution, Cognition Plus and vinpocetine are important. We also have synaptin, which is also a very good formula for brain support. Calm Mind, calming the nervous system, which is the combination of myo-inositol, sunthein and L-theanine amino acid from green tea, and GABAC, aminobutyric acid. It's amazing. We sell them by the case, believe it or not. Cherry flavored and unflavored. You can mix the unflavored in your tea. You can mix it in your low glycemic index, or let's say xylitol or stevia type drink. or in your smoothie if you want. Can-C, we have the Can-C eye drops, which is the best formula right now, dimethylcarnosine, which is developed by Dr. Babachev. I'm working on a new formula which includes the dimethylcarnosine and other components, hopefully going to be released here later in 2014. Carboblock. I tell people, anybody that's got carbohydrate intolerance in hypoglycemia, obesity, diabetes, or lipid disorders need to be taking Carboblock before every meal and snack. It has both the alpha-glycosidase to stop breaking down the sugar, and also to stop breaking down carbohydrates. So it'll block sugar and carbo, so it's the most powerful combo double enzyme formula. Cell defense, the most powerful cellular protectant. This is, if you want to call it a cellular protectant against brain, liver, heart cells of any kind. It's called cell defense for a good reason. It's the most powerful protectant against inflammation, cancer cell gene transformation. It's really, really important. Cell detox glutathione. This is the most powerful form of glutathione. We're not talking about something like, from hemp or even whey protein, etc. This is the most powerful glutathione. It's more powerful than intravenous glutathione, cell detox glutathione, because it's the acetyl form, so it's an oral form, but lasts longer. We have Chelor Max, the heavy metal chelator. Anybody who shows a positive on either a functional medicine test like Genova Labs, or a QRMA test, or has historically been exposed to heavy metals, we all are, by the way. Most common is lead. Arsenic's next most common. And if you had mercury amalgams, or if you've had a gutta-percha, which is for a root canal, you may have other heavy metals present in your system, like cadmium. Cognition Plus, we mentioned already, is the neurotransmitter, memory protection, brain enhancement, lucid and dream enhancement, creativity and IQ, memory, support. Colon cleanse. If you're having problems with chronic constipation and show up with various signs of constipation, which will actually be picked up by the QRMA test, you want to take a colon cleanse, at least one a day. If you have significant long-term constipation, one twice a day. We have the only non-crystallizing CoQ10 stabilized in the world. It's head-to-head by a comparison to any other brand. We're not going to mention the brands, but the very best other brand, it's 8 to 12 times more absorbed. We also have the most powerful CoQ10 ubiquinol, and I usually recommend both, because the ubiquinol is a reserve form that the body converts back to the ubiquinone. The ubiquinone, if you don't want to take it too late, or you'll be like the Energizer Bunny. So do not take CoQ10 Supreme after supper. If you do, you may not find it easy to go to sleep. You may want to go for a long walk. We have the curcumin cream, which you can put on sore joints, skin lesions, sunburn, transdermal detoxification. It's amazing. And of course, I mentioned D-ribose I put in my Energizer drink. Defense wipes, which are parts of our first line of defense kit. This will kill all capsulated viruses, all pathogenic bacteria on contact. And of course, diabetoline, which we use to lower insulin resistance in diabetes, obesity, dyslipidemias, and digestes for stomach acid. When we come back, we're going to talk to Ryan. Any questions on any wellness issues, specifically dealing with NutriMeds or any health issue, do call in 800-259-5791. It's your program. In hour 3, we're going to deal with geopolitical preparedness and world events topics with John Moore. And again, if you have specific topics or guests you'd like to recommend, do drop an email or call us at 888-212-8871. The Nutrimedical Report, Clay and Iron Show, is brought to you 5 days a week, 2 to 5 Central, 3 to 6 Eastern, and 12 to 3 Pacific.